welcome back. Let me pick up from where we stopped in the last episode. Last time we talked about how AI and humans are going to coexist at work, not in a dramatic replacement versus survival way, but in a practical way. We walked through the idea that both sides of systems, the human side and AI side, work completely differently. And if you don't design how they work together, you create friction. In the last episode, I also explained what rhythm is and why it matters. Humans need rhythm, machines don't. So, if leaders don't understand the difference, the whole system becomes stressful instead of productive. And I also briefly touched on the leadership model that actually works in the new environment. And what it is sense, synchronize, and sustain. Today, I want to unpack that properly, what sense, synchronize, and sustain is. Then we will try to look at how it looks like when we design it for AI. Because if we design it in a way that we are still working in 2010, then system breaks. Not because of AI, but because leadership stayed the same. Let's walk through slowly what it is, how it looks like, and how it really can help you to design your current system. If we look at the first part of it, which I call sense, what it is, this is where AI can't see what humans can see. And AI can read a pattern, but it can't read a number. It doesn't know the story behind the number. And if it doesn't know, it can't tell you a team is tired, or the trust is dropping, or if a deadline looks fine on paper but everyone knows it's unrealistic. That's the leader's job, sensing what the system can't surface. Then, if we move next, what synchronizes? If we look at the old leadership, it was like, here are some tasks, just do them. New leadership is not just about tasks, it's about how the human side and the machine side they work together. Here is the pace, here is who leads what, here is how everything moves together from one hand to the next. It's like conducting. You set the rhythm, you keep the handoffs clean. That's what synchronized looks like. And if we move forward, what sustain is, because people assume performance is just output, but sustainable performance is also input. What I mean, it is clarity, energy, recovery, and pacing that creates sustainable performance. It's not about squeezing more. It's about designing the work so humans can hold the pressure without breaking. That's the frame we ended on last time. Now let's shift into the practical part. We will talk about the practical playbook, how it looks like. You don't need a complicated system. You just need a better structure. Structure of what? Structure of how humans and AI move together. And how you can do that? If we go step by step, the first part is going to be define the work split. What I mean by that is you need to look at closely processes and ask, what do we automate? What do we assist with? What do we assign? And I preferably suggest here automate the repeatable parts Let AI assist where it can. Draft and you decide. Assign the parts that rely on trust, judgment, relational understanding. And then cadence. Machines don't need a break, but people do, you know that. If you set the pace while considering machines and AI in your head, you lose the team. You need to create the rhythm. Deep work hours, focus blocks, planned push periods, planned cooldown periods. This is called design. Designed, not random. Then, if we look here deeply, the feedback, especially the two-way feedback, designing that into system is very important. How did the decision go? What was the impact? What needs to change next time? For that, you need the feedback. Close the loop in writing because system learns through clarity, not memory. Then transparency. When AI influences a decision, the why must be visible. Why? Because people don't trust black boxes, they trust explanations. Plain language is really important. For example, this is how the system supported the decision. And finally, also track energy. 2 questions each week. That really going to help you track energy. Do I know what good looks like? Do I have time to recover after big pushes? If the answer is no, your performance curve is already bending downward. You catch it early because when you are asking this question and you are proactive, you catch early. That's how it will really help you to build what you want. This is not really heavy. This is just intentional. Where things break, orchestration doesn't fail because teams are not trying. It fails for predictable reasons. When people stop escalating early, not because they don't see problems, because they don't want to fight the dashboard. And if this happens, what is going to be the disadvantage? This will increase the rework. AI output looks correct but feels off. People spend maybe going to spend a lot of extra hours fixing what should have been clear. Meetings will grow but clarity doesn't. So system will drift. And this will make more shadow tools to appear for help. People don't trust the official system. And if we talk about the quitting here, this is going to be the quiet quitting version of this era. Shows up, tasks are delivered, but energy is gone. And if 2 or more of these signals means you don't have a people problem if they are appearing in your system, or if these appear in the system, it means your orchestration is not working properly. It means you are having an orchestration problem. And now you will ask me, what is the HR role here? HR has a role here. HR role is designing the communication layer. HR becomes the system designer. How to design AI and human work. Not because HR is support, because HR is the only function that sees both the people systems and the performance system. So they must design top-down clarity, target updates to the right people so they are clear about direction, what is required, and HR should also design bottom-up visibility. If there are any signals, capture them on time, the ideas, the concerns, the data. And this is really important to help leadership design better decisions. So you must tie communication to action because you're getting feedback must feed leadership decisions. If people share and nothing shifts, then system stops speaking. You show what's changed. This keeps the human signal alive when AI scales the rest. So considering the right communication, tap them button up, still very, very important when you are going to design an orchestration system to surface faster and to be proactive. And this is very important if we talk in the sense of ethics, trust, and the new rules. Before scaling anything, there must be set guardrails because this is very important to consider. Pay attention what data is used, what data is off limits, who has override authority. And one rule is here is really, really important. If you can't explain it, you don't deploy it. Trust is a design decision. So if you design a better design you have, so you are going to build that trust. And if you're thinking how we should hire talent now in this orchestration era, so you must hire for learning speed now, the system thinking, the collaboration. The real skill is not knowing everything. Our speed system is changing. What works here is ask better questions. AI and working with a system that constantly evolves. Teams that master human machine handoff will outperform everyone else. They will not compete with AI, they will conduct it. So it's very important to consider how we are going to hire better now, what we are going to prefer, what we are going to promote. So what I will say in orchestration era, AI is going to replace tasks, speed, and it's going to scale, but it can't replace purpose, it can't replace values, it can't replace what humans bring at a deeper level. The goal is not to survive AI. It's designing workplace where both sides work without friction. This is orchestration, and this is the shift. We are looking and we are thinking this is going to be the shift how they can coexist in harmony. And this is where performance and well-being and clarity move in the same direction, because the need is to orchestrate better, the need is to understand the human part, the need is to understand the AI part, and then design work in a way that supports the system so you can scale and you can have a sustainable performance without neglecting human well-being and voice. Thank you for listening, and if you have any question and if you want to know more about it, feel free to reach me out.